Hopefully, let's see.
Hello.
It's my. Is the noise? Does anyone hear like a fucking jet engine in my audio?
No,
By
you
the
sound
way,
fine.
No.
okay, cool. Let's go. AC is covered by noise suppression. Noise suppression in Discord is actually magical.
Woo.
I don't know how they do it, but
All right,
I
we're just
need a
waiting
few practice.
on, it looks like, 2 people.
they put in the good coding sauce.
Let me see who those people are. So we're just waiting on Nexon and Cowgirl, I think.
I've drafted with Nexon a couple times.
I know Cowgirl IRL, so I'm sure they will
Okay,
be
sweet.
here.
Cool, cool.
I've done a few practice drafts of this cube. I've always either gravitated strongly towards one specific color every cube or accidentally went into 5 color good stuff. So,
There you go.
yep.
Yeah, I'm
I did
especially
some
seeking
tricking.
feedback. So as you're
Yeah,
playing
so is,
and
is
drafting,
there is there like any particular like things in advance, or are you more just like after the draft? Like,
no, after the draft, I just want to know what was fun. I might end up putting together like a little tiny like survey or something, just so I can have some
sure.
structure to these, because I'm going to do a couple of these every month between now and
That
October. But
that would be helpful.
basically, I just want
Sure.
to know what was fun, what was unfun, if any cards felt like traps or etc. That kind of falls in unfun. I imagine if it feels like a trap, it's probably not going to be fun.
Hello, guys.
Well,
Hello.
hey, excellent.
Hi, Andy.
What's up? What's up?
Are we drafting in Cube Cobra for the record?
We are drafting in Draftmancer. Uh,
Oh, okay. Oh,
just because
cool.
I've had
For
some
the
issues with
For
the
the-
consistency and reliability of Cube Cobra.
Yeah, me too.
yeah, for the painlessness draftmancer.
All right, looks like we're just waiting on one person to join still. Are you in the link, Nexon?
The link. Oh, yeah. Here I have it.
Cool. Just want to make sure everyone's got it. I have no timer set too, so everyone take your time. Just don't abuse it.
Yep. Mhm.
Sounds
Who's
good.
missing?
Yeah, who's not in here? Who's Famine? Is that Cowgirl?
Oh,
Probably because they're saying they're in.
They
On
say they're
the,
in, but in that case, I think we're
Oh,
still
okay.
missing Nexon, right?
yeah. I'm just joining.
Oh, no, take your time. Take your time. Just
Okay.
want to make sure.
Sweet.
I thought you said you were in. All right, looks like we got everybody.
Yeah. We are full. No.
All right.
hmm
Well, folks, have fun.
You too.
Good luck.
Same to you.
Good luck. Okay.
I'm actually going to mute because I'm recording this. I'm going to talk through my picks a little bit, so I don't want to give anything away, but I'll still be here.
Sure.
Okay.
All right, so I think we take easy fetch land here. Prismatic Ending is also really good. Goblin Guide to Force Aggro. Nothing else here is really jumping out at me, though, so I think it's a pretty easy foothills. Gonna lock that one in. This is a group of people that has agreed to help me test my cube with, play the cube, obviously, with the specific goal of testing and improving it before CubeCon. I'm eating some cake for my wife's birthday. If you want to be included in that testing group, you can join the MTG Cube Talk Discord. There's a whole thread there. Doing this at least once a month, digitally, and then once a month in person with my play
An
group.
actual full pod 8-player draft.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. The dream of any cuber.
hmm
And I'm muted, they can't hear me. Looks like old Nexon's in the tank here. No problem if you're still thinking Nexon. Just want to make sure you know that it doesn't auto pick. You have to confirm.
Yeah. I know.
Cool. I just had one person that didn't realize that last time we drafted until had
Hey,
all 8
listen
hats
here,
stacked up on
alright.
them. So wanted to make
My
sure.
bad. My bad.
No. You good.
It took me about 30 seconds to figure that out, too.
Yeah, I was like, my buddy was sitting
Alright, I'm
next to
back
me. He's
on
like, I'm thinking. I was like, oh,
So this pack is a lot better than the pack we opened.
you said
I think Expressive Iteration. GTA and Expressive Iteration are the jump outs here. I mean, I think Wrath of God is also defensible. I've heard some people are kind of low on Wraths in environments like mine, but I am definitely not. I think Expressive Iteration is the pick here. A lot of people would probably say it was GTA, but in my environment, there's a lot of removal running around, so it's actually kind of a challenge to stick an equipment and hit with it. And so you get the reward. I mean, the reward is still really high if you get to hit with GTA. You get to just pick stuff off. But I think it's actually EI here. This card is banned for a reason. It's really, really messed up. Probably just below Treasure Cruise and Dig Through Time is the best card draw in the cube. Okay, now, this is, in my opinion, a late Renin 6. This is a pretty easy first pick for me if I have Renin 6 in my pack. It's painful to pass up on 2 fetch lands. Sylvan Library is also really good. But I think we're going to take Renin 6 and, you know, aiming for some sort of teamer value right now. Forgive the audio of the people drafting along. Yeah, I don't think there's any question here. I mean, Portent would be fine, but I would take the fetch lands over Portent. Yeah, so for me, it's Renin 6, fetch lands, Sylvan Library, Portent, probably in that order. Maybe Portent over Sylvan Library, given that I already have Expressive Iteration. I will say one thing about this draft interface. I really wish I could fit it all without scrolling, because having watched the videos back, I feel like it gets very disorienting to scroll up and down a bunch. So that's a bummer. All right, now we have Stomping Ground and Shelter Thicket. I think one of those two has to be the pick. I really like Dark Confidant, but I don't think breaking into a third color here is advisable. Let's actually just make this one row for now. While we're so early in the draft so we can see more at once. Maybe scroll down a little bit and like lock it in right here. Yeah, so I think it's one of those two. Exploration, I kind of hope wheels. I think we can maybe wheel Exploration, and I would play it in this deck with Renin 6. I plan on taking a bunch of fetch lands, but I want to get my fixing right first. So we're going to take that Stomping Ground. And then here, I really like Bone Crusher Giant. I think that is the pick. Elvish Reclaimer is kind of on theme, but I think not powerful enough to justify taking over just a very strong, flexible card like Bone Crusher Giant. Now the packs kind of dry up a little bit. I mean, I think Fire Ice is good. I'm going to take it. Dismember is good, but we're in red. We know we're going to have some more efficient removal in red. I think part of the value of Dismember is you can take it early and end up in like a heavy blue deck or something that otherwise doesn't have as many ways to deal with creatures, and the Dismember becomes a really high value pick. But we're already going to be in red, we know, so we're going to have some ways to deal with creatures. I think Fire Ice is the pick here, but definitely not our best pack. Okay. Speaking of removal, I think we got to take Forked Bolt, Shatter Skull Smashing here. Retrofitter Foundry is a really good card. It's a card I really love if I'm playing very reactively, because you can hold up mana for counter spells, removal spells, etc. If you don't need it, you just make some tokens and keep advancing your game plan. K-Command, if we had been greedier, we could also be, but I don't really want to play 4 colors. I think the cost of having a really heavy colored mana base is steep here with all the life loss, so we're just going to take Forked Bolt and just eat those X1s for breakfast. All right, then we're going to take Breeding Pool here. Fiery Islet, also really good with Renin 6, but I really want to get my fetchables set so that in the future I plan to prioritize fetch lands very, very highly because I have Renin 6, so I want all those fetch lands to have the correct thing to get. All right, this is a little bit of a whiff. I think we're just going to take Waterlog Grove. I would like to get another decent spell out of this pack, but I don't think Mana Dork's where we want to be. Dragon's Guard Elite. This actually will probably end up being an okay Dragon's Guard Elite deck, but I don't really want to prioritize it here. Same with Magmatic Channeler. It could be a pretty decent deck for both of these cards, but let's take the fixing and play it safe. All right, now I think Burst Lightning, Grim Lavamancer are the picks over the Goose. The question is, I think we just go Burst Lightning. We just keep it really efficient. You know, Grim Lavamancer is the higher value card. If the game goes long and you get to keep playing, then it will obviously deal more than 2 or 4 damage over time. But I have Renin 6. I don't want to be chewing through my graveyard too much. And I think just more cheap removal to keep the board clear as I set up these, what I imagine will be kind of a big teamer value deck is what I want to be doing. So Burst Lightning it is. I think this is a good start. I'm happy so far. I wish I had maybe one more fetch land, but there'll be more opportunities to get those as we go. But we got removal, card draw, and a really good Planeswalker. So I'm pretty happy with that. Now we have a choice to make again. Portent, Primeval Titan, and Condescend, I think, are all options. I don't think we're going to be going as big as Primeval Titan. So far, we're leading much heavier red than we are green. So actually getting the 6 mana could be a challenge. So it's really between Portent and Condescend. The question for Condescend is how much are we going to be able to actually hold up mana? So far, we have Stomp, Fire Ice, and Burst Lightning all at instant speed. Is this going to be a counterspell deck? I think Portent is a safer pick. Even if we end up holding up counterspells, having 1 mana cantrips to fill in our curve will be valuable. So I think we're just going to take Portent here over Condescend. But it's close. It's definitely close. If we were heavier blue right now instead of heavier red, I'd probably be on the Condescend. But looks like we're going to be a little more proactive, mid-rangey, instead of reactive controlling. All right, we got the Exploration back. This is one of the cards I'm excited to test. So even though Sinkhole might be the pick for win percentage, I'm taking this for sure because I want to see how this card plays. Could we possibly end up in a Life from the Loam deck? Exploration is a recent addition along with Life from the Loam. And my hope is that it will kind of play like a, a Elvish Pioneer or a Arboreal Grazer on early turns of the game. Obviously you're not going to have a bunch of lands in hand. It's not going to be a combo kind of exploration in this cube. Doomscar Warrior we're probably not going to play. I'm wondering if it's worth taking Grist just in case we get the fixing to cast it. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to speculate on a Grist. We'll see what happens. And then, we might maybe play Mutavault. Mutavault Ren 6 is pretty good. Anyway, so Exploration is in here because I'm hoping... All right, we'll probably play Eternal Witness too, to be honest. It's not a great Eternal Witness deck so far, but get back a removal spell. It's not super efficient in terms of mana, but really high value. So, so far, Red and 6, Eternal Witness, Bonecrusher, Giant Expressive Iteration are really high value spells. We are going to just, generate a lot of resources with those. And then we have Forked Bolt, Burst Lightning,
That's right.
Fire Ice, Stomp to keep the board clear.
Sick.
Here it's easy fetch land. We just got to take fetch lands.
Good addition.
We already have a Wooded Foothills, so we'll take a Misty Rainforest, so it probably doesn't really matter which one we take. We're not giving up much either. I mean, obviously Verdant Catacombs here too, but I'll take a 2-color fetch land and a Flight of Strand. But maybe we'll even wheel one of these fetch lands. That would be crazy, but it's not out of the question. Otherwise, I would take Miscalc, Counterspell, Young Pyromancer, but we're not giving up much, I don't think, to take that Misty Rainforest. So that's what we're going to do. All right. Now it's a pretty easy Uro, I think. Uro's great.
Let's just draft this whole pack, and then we'll just...
This is a perfect Uro deck, I think.
Yeah, I want 3 cards over that.
I'm already going to be
Take it
prioritizing
back,
fetch
okay.
lands really highly for what my deck is doing otherwise. It's a shame to pass up on Ponder. There's a world where we want to be a Golos deck, but I don't think we're quite there. Maybe we'd happily play Fabulous Looting,
Unless we get the whole
Bauble,
pack.
Deep Root Wayfinder, Twin Shot Sniper, but we're just going to take Uro. I feel like this is a good payoff. We got there, as the kids might say. Yeah. And now that's a super solid win condition. It's hard to deal with Uro. You got to exile it either from the graveyard or from play to deal with it permanently. So I really like that as a hard win condition.
Every time I
Try to kill Harry.
Now we have a lot of good options.
Every time I try to kill Harry.
We have Arid Mesa, Ignoble Hierarch, Territorial Kavu, Preordain, Metamorphose, Briarbridge Tracker. We may even get there on enough fixing to play Archmage's Charm, though that's definitely not the pick here. So, I said earlier we weren't really a ramp deck, and that's kind of true. The thing about Ignoble Hierarch is it does a lot more than just ramp. It fixes our mana for red. It also fixes our mana for black if we end up playing this Grist. And the Exalted trigger is not nothing. I mean, we're not going to be a creature-heavy deck, so the idea of swinging with one creature is probably reasonable. We could wheel this Territorial Kavu. That's my ideal wheel. I think we just have to take Arid Mesa, though. Our deck gets so much better with more fetch lands because of all the reasons we talked about. We want to have a fetch land when we play our Ren and 6, and so we can get something back and start generating value. It's also especially good with Exploration. So I think we just have to take a fetch land. Hopefully we wheel the Kavu. I don't think we're going to wheel the Ignoble Hierarch. That's what we're doing. All right. Now, there's another new card here that I'm curious about, which is Jorel Jorel M. Recluse. We have... Okay, so actually, so far, Portent does not work with it because it draws on the next turn. EI doesn't actually draw, puts a card into your hand. Ice works. Uro works. Uro works repeatedly. Jorel's kind of messed up. But it's not going to take me off of, I think, just taking Seasoned Pyromancer, which is the best card in this pack. It's the best card in this pack. It's good in our deck. We're definitely going to jam it here. So yeah, we're going to take Seasoned Pyromancer. Maybe Jorel, Abundant Harvest, Garruk come back around. Of those three, I'd be most interested to play Jorel, and I'm most confident that Abundant Harvest would be really good. So we'll see. All right, easy Windswept Teeth here. Magma Jet, Cemetery Prowler, they're fine, they're cool, but I just want another fetch land. And with this kind of deck, we're going to prioritize fetch lands really highly and aim to play almost all the cards we draft. So we got to keep that in mind as we're going. So another Stomping Ground. There's a Nissa, there's a Flame Slasher, there's a Tarfire. And a Consider. And Otawara, Censor. And there's a lot of cards in this pack. I prioritize the second Stomping Ground way lower than the first. So I don't think the pick is Stomping Ground here. We already have 4 fetch lands for our 1 Stomping Ground. I do really, really want a Steam Vents. So hopefully we see one of those before the draft is over. I think here it's between Flame Slash and Nissa.
Isn't time.
Yeah, bless
Me
you. Flame Slash. See, I'm double green. It might be kind of hard. Honestly, it might not be super. Well, we're definitely playing double green for Uro. We're gonna get double green for that for sure. Another reason to prioritize fixing pretty highly. Flame Slash is a safe pick. Nissa can just win games on her own for sure. All right, we're gonna take Nissa. It's pretty late Nissa too. There's another breeding pool. Here's Courser of Krufix, though. Courser of Krufix Exploration is definitely one of the combos that I have in mind. Dig Through Time is broken. Abrade is good. We do have a lot of ways to feed Dig Through Time, but again, we don't want to eat our entire graveyard. I don't rate that very highly in terms of how I change my evaluation of cards. I think we're going to lean... We just took a double green card, too. We're going to lean harder into green, and let's take Courser with Exploration. This also really helps with, if we're looping fetch lands with Ren and 6, the life loss can get pretty significant pretty quick, so getting a Courser to gain some of that life back is a pretty good look. Another breeding pool. No one else is playing blue-green, I don't think. And here we might just take it over Thing in the Ice, Jace, or Llanowar Elves. Or, Chandra. Oh, I accidentally double-clicked and took Chandra.
Excuse me, waiter. I ordered cards I can play.
Which is maybe what I would have taken
this?
anyway. So, we're fine. We did get a fetch
I'll
land on
send
the
it
wheel
back.
here.
If it comes with sideboard cards, I'll send it
How many
back.
playables we at? 4, 7, plus 5 is 12, 13, 14 playables. I think we can take one more Verdant Catacombs. And also, now that we have Uro, Chandra, Nissa, we are not really holding on mana. We want to be tapping out. This is like very much a tap-out, curve-out deck. So we're going to take that. All right, well, we got Twin Shot Sniper Negate, Deeper Wayfinder, and Golos on the wheel. I am really high on Engineered Explosives and think a lot of people underrate it. I actually think the pick might be Engineered Explosives here. Because look at this. We have only one mana permanent and one 2-mana permanent right now. So against an aggro deck, a token deck, whatever, Engineered Explosives will just clean up really nicely. We already have a decent amount of 1-for-1 removal in Forked Bolt, Burst Lightning, Fire, Stomp, Chandra, Downtick. That's an okay amount of targeted removal. I'm not going to go all the way to Golos. We are not a Golos deck, I don't think. Deeper Wayfinder is definitely good. It does what the deck wants to do. Gets lands back from the graveyard, which I'll have in the graveyard because of kind of all my fetches. This is kind of like a bad... The Red and 6 at home, but I'm just going to take Engineered Explosives here because I think the payoff... All right, great. We love it. We're taking Territorial Kavu. Honestly, all 5 of these cards we could potentially play. I want Kavu here. It's going to be a 3/3 very reliably. Ignoble Hierarch is great, and we are... Well, God, we are going bigger now. Chandra, Nissa, Uro, all kind of our votes for Ignoble Hierarch. But I think we can just take our time and get there. We have enough removal. We can tie up the board and get there over time. I'm going to take the Kavu. All right, we got all 3 of these green cards back. How many cards... All right, how many ways do we actually have to trigger Jorel now? We have 1 cycling, right? We have Waterlogged Grove. We have Ice. We have Seasoned Pyromancer, Uro. Not actually that many ways to trigger. I think it's just Abundant Harvest. That's a note for Jorel. Here, I think it's Cemetery Prowler over Horizon Can't. Well, actually, no. Well,
This has been a tricky draft so far.
if I had taken Golos, I would have taken the Horizon Canopy for
Yeah,
sure.
I've drafted
Yep.
cards that I've drafted before, and I plan on playing them in ways that I've never intended on playing them before.
Oh wow.
All right, end of that pack was great. We just got running playables. Consider got electric.
Someone in my play group has a slightly modified version of Bun Magic, and I'm basically drafting a deck I have drafted before, plus the one thing I was missing.
There you go.
Ooh.
All right, well, I'm excited to see what that
Hey.
does.
Easy games, easy life. Good draft.
Going back on mute. All right. Some decisions to make here.
Yeah, that's what I thought. There's a lot of fixing in this pack. That's why I was short
Field of the
earlier,
Dead.
and you guys too, I guess.
Utopia Sprawl, Snapcaster Mage,
Hmm.
Ironcrag Pyromancer, Urza
I've
Saga.
seen this before on Draftmancer. I don't know what does it or what doesn't trigger it, but this is full of fixing.
I am really high on Urza Saga, but right now we have nothing to get with it, and we are also not really the kind of deck that wants
I
to
was
What
saying,
decide?
spend two
you know, when you
consecutive turns
draft
making
zero,
constructs.
when you draft black-white with no cards over 3 mana value and open Aluris in pack 3, it was meant to be.
Also, Fairy Mastermind, honestly, could be a card here too. So what are you flashing
Wow.
back? I mean, Snapcaster Mage
that's how we draw
EI
it.
is huge. Snapcaster Mage,
Like,
any of these
draft
cantrips
like a-
and removal spells.
I don't know. What's a high value? As a creator, move behemoth or something quick.
I think I'm going to take Snapcaster Mage over Utopia Sprawl. It's close, but I'm going to take Snapcaster Mage, I think. Whew. This pack, though. All right. Chariot is about as good a win condition as we can get. Sleight of Hand, Daze, another Stomping Ground, Firebolt. I still really want a Steam Vents. I want a Steam Vents so bad. Somebody said there's a lot of fixing in this pack. Hopefully it's coming our way. Augur of Autumn is another copy of Courser of Crucifix for Exploration. And Life from Loam is here. I'm not taking Life from Loam. If we wheel it, I will play it for science because I want to learn about how it plays. So here, I think it's between Chariot, Augur. Chariot and Augur, really. Curve-wise, we want the Chariot. We're kind of full up on 3s here, especially double green 3s. The Eternal Witness is
What
looking
the
pretty
hell,
mid right
man?
now. I'm going to take Chariot. We have no shortage of ways to win the game now. We don't have to worry about that at all.
Well, I guess nobody is too much into red.
Force of Will. Mana Leak, Remand.
Come with me.
Tyrus Tracker is great, and this is a really good Tyrus Tracker deck, but we have plenty of threats, plenty of card advantage, plenty of 3-drops. I think I really like this Force of Will, because we're going to be tapping out all the time. I mean, I guess how many blue cards we actually have to pitch? Portent, Consider, Fire Ice, Snapcaster Mage, Uro. Maybe I don't like it as much as I thought I did. If we had more blue cards to pitch, I'd be all about it, but we don't. So I think it's probably just a tracker, and we're heavy on 3s. Kind of wish I had maybe looked a second time. I mean, honestly, I'm not like super high on Cemetery Prowler or Eternal Witness here. They're like replaceable. That makes our curve look a lot better, and yeah, I'm taking Tyrus Tracker. Still no sign of a Steam Vents. Fingies crossed. I think it's just Scavenging Ooze here. Wild Growth is great. Gatekeeper's fine. Memory Lapse, Stormcaller, Teferi. These cards are all fine, but graveyard stuff really matters here. Scavenging Ooze does everything we want to do. Gain some life. Scales into the late game. Wow. Dang.
Oh, okay.
Jeez, this is tough.
Holy mother of God.
What
Other
the
players are
hell
also
is
experiencing the
this?
same thing I am. Treasure
What size?
Clues,
Big
Arbor
7.
Elf, Serum Visions, Fetch Land, Anji's Ravager,
Wait, you're already on the
Anya's
next pack?
Ravager.
What?
Man, it's so tempting.
Wait, are you on the next pack already?
I guess. You are passing me right now.
Yeah, because I'm waiting on pack. Mine is still loading.
Yeah, it's.
Might take it a second.
I think we just have to take
Hmm.
Cruise. Cruise is
Yeah,
broken.
we'll take the Mugtide.
The fun thing to do would be to take Ravager and try and get that wheel that life from loam, which I think we will. But it's just gonna be Cruise, I think, here. Or is it Arbor Elf to drop a 3-drop on turn 2? Oh, jeez. No, we'll take this. We might wheel the Arbor Elf. Blues or green's being kind of underdrafted. Yikes. This pack is nuts. Once Upon a Time, Titania, Noble Hierarch. I rate all those cards really highly. Again, we are not short on win conditions, so I should not take Titania here. It pains me to say this, but we've got Chandra, Chariot, Nissa, Bone Crusher Giant, Seasoned Pyromancer, Burrow, Tireless Tracker, Teracho Akavu, Scavenging Ooze. Like, we are fine in the late game. This card will go dummy with some of the cards we have, but we just don't need it. What we need is a Noble Hierarch, I think. We're going to take it. Ooh! Daddy loves a Mawlock. It's starting to look like we're not going to get our Steam Vents, which is a huge bummer, honestly. Because we have to think now about which of our fetch lands is not going to get blue or red. So, like, right now, Windswept Teeth is not going to get... No, Windswept gets everything. If we don't get Steam Vents, that means that a only blue or only red fetch. So, Arid Mesa is not going to get blue, is our problem. It's a bummer, but I'm taking Mawlock. I love Mawlock. Unholy Heat is also great. That'd be my next pick, but I'm just taking Mawlock. Oh! The last possible pick. The last possible pick. Taking the Steam Vents. I kind of wish I could also take this Green Sun Zenith. We're a pretty good Green Sun Zenith deck with all these great green cards across the curve, but gotta take our fixing.
Oh, baby.
All right, back to our opening pack. Field of the Dead, huh? So I have 2 breeding pools. Everything else has got a different name. And I've got 12 lands right now.
Just draft this pack and call it a day.
If I put one of each base again, I'll be at 15 lands. I mean, we're definitely a perfectly reasonable Field of the Dead deck. The question is, do we need it? This card is great if your opponent answers everything you throw at them, but I don't think our opponent's going to be able to do that. Even a strong control deck, I've got too many different threats across different card types. Board wipes against us, not that good. I've got Planeswalkers, I've got Isika's Chariots. I got plenty of ways to refill Treasure Cruise and whatnot if they do board wipe.
It'll wheel Copium.
So I think it's just Sprawl. Let's just accelerate. How many cards are we at right now? We're at 35 minus 12, so we're at 23. So we're like right around playables right now. We're hovering around exactly playables. So the question is there something I would cut from this deck to play Utopia Sprawl? I mean, honestly, probably not. If I had taken the Arbor Elf, I'd probably take the Utopia Sprawl because it has a really high ceiling there. Maybe we do just take Field of the Dead. I don't think we're going to need it. I think our deck is really scary. Mutagenic Grove is also really cool, and I think it's going to be good in some decks. Probably fine in this one, but I'm just going to take Field. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty gross. We're probably not going to play this Mutavault, to be honest. Just because we're 3 colors, we're probably not going to play more than 16 lands. I guess I only had 11 lands, because this is actually not allowed. But Field of the Dead with Exploration, Courser of Crufix. We got the Augur back.
What a great design is Anointed Peacekeeper.
Daze is also really good with Exploration. Pick up that land, play it
It's a
again.
very interesting card.
I don't know if Stomping Ground is tempting, but I think I just want the Augur here, and I'll figure out my main deck.
Yeah,
in a
even
hot
if you target an artifact with an activated ability, you can screw their plan even more.
It's very true.
Hmm.
We might be sideboarding this Expressive Iteration, or this Engineered Explosives rather, because now we do have another 1-drop and a couple more 2-drops. Still going to be huge in some matchups. I still maintain that card is kind of messed up. Let me just real quick, can I add basics at this point of the draft? I don't think I can. Yeah, look at this. Look at this deck. You literally love to see it. If I was being honest with myself, I should probably cut Exploration from this deck, but I'm not going to because I want to see how it plays. I'm putting my threats up here. Yeah, our mana fixing's good. Got an opportunity here to finish my cake. Excuse me. Forgive me.
I definitely did not take enough. What's it called? Search lands.
Lands, fetches.
Am I playing
The
any of
cards
these?
are so cool sometimes.
Yeah, same.
This is a good Remand deck, except we're not going to be holding
Fetch
mana.
lands, that's what they're called.
But like drawing cards on both sides of the battlefield is fine for us because we're going to go bigger than all of our opponents pretty much.
I only managed to grab 2 and had to let go the Murktide Regent over.
I might want a
one
Soul
of the
Scar
fetch
Mage in case our opponent is really aggro. just as
I
another
only
cheat
have one
card. Like
fetch land,
in the
but
aggro matchup,
that's
I'll just cut
hopefully
like
good enough.
Nissa for a Soul Scar Mage just to have
Yeah, I'm
another
just gonna
tool
draw
card.
the
I'm not
lands
gonna
I
start
need.
it.
Yeah.
Yep.
In cubes like this, the number of basics that go into my deck determines how happy I am at the end of the draft. If I'm like, 7 to
Oh,
9,
oh,
I'm sitting
we're
at
happy.
12 non-base, so I think I'm good.
Seagate Stormcaller.
Yeah,
is
Oh
let's
my
go.
gosh.
That's a
EI
real
is
draft
looking
right
pretty
there.
good.
I'm
I think it's just
we're
Wild
getting
Growth
close.
though.
He's 7, which is like
Alright, we
could
got
be
Ravager
better, but
back.
could be worse.
We don't actually have a way to discard it except for Seasoned
Second to
Pyromancer,
last pick,
correct?
Blade Splicer, Unholy Hit.
Yeah, last pick was,
Nice.
I don't see
last
any other
pick
way to
was very
discard it,
good.
so we're not going to Madness it, but it's probably not the deck for it, to be honest.
Now the
But I'm
question
going to take
is,
it.
what do I cut?
Once upon a time, second to last
Can't
pick.
cut all of my
Fucking
babies.
yikes. Alright,
Just
I'm going
cut
to
the bad
unmute so I
cards,
can chat with my friends again.
They're all precious to me.
Woo! What a draft. What a draft.
Yeah.
I feel pretty good about my deck. We'll see how it goes. Your
Yeah.
famous last words. Every time I feel good about my deck, I always do terribly.
Well, like I
Oh
said,
my God.
I look like a genius because I drafted like the perfect Loris deck and then opened it.
Okay.
Okay, I went into aggro, but then I started to get more, what's it called? Better tempo cards,
Mm-mm.
or mid-range cards, or whatever, and now,
Had to mute again.
and then I
just to say
opened
last
some
pick,
land stuff,
unholy
and
hit?
now, oh boy.
What? YouTube
Listen,
thumbnail
they
face?
always ask, "What archetype are you?" and not, "Why aren't you all of them?" Just be aggro,
Yeah.
with a little
Yeah.
control, and a little mid range.
That's
It's a little
exactly
bit
what
of
I think of my
everything.
deck.
Yep, and I essentially drafted what I always drafted whenever I practice this cube.
Listen, Ragavan's a control card because it follows up a 4-mana Wrath on turn 6 very well. That's
Ragavan's a everything card. It just does it all.
it does do it all. Screw that card, by the way.
I think if you haven't played a cube like this before, I think you'll find that it's maybe not as infuriating here as it is in other places.
Oh,
'Cause-
for the record, I own a cube like this, and I hate it.
You still hate it. All right, well, that's good. That's
I
good.
do hate it.
That's
I do
good
hate it.
data.
Listen, I respect your approach, but I also disagree.
It's on the list of cards that I am considering cutting before CubeCon, just because,
Yeah.
like, yes, it is potentially game warping. I do maintain that I think it's actually mostly fine here, but what is it really giving you, right? It's not a cool build around. It's not synergistic. It's just a powerful card, right? So, like, the cube suffers nothing to lose it. I don't think, really.
Yeah, basically
Yeah,
my take on it is that like it's true that in a cube like this it's probably not going to like dramatically swing win percentages, but like in most games it's either a 2-1 or wins the game. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like those are kind of its modes is like 2-1
It-
or your opponent doesn't have anything and then it's just like I win.
It really depends on how fast the other opponent gets a creature in.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's my point is if they get a creature it just becomes like all of its text becomes blank almost, where it's just like, you trade it out like any other 2-1, and so, it's kind of boring. But then when it does the thing, it's like, I draw a card, make mana, do a little dance, throw dollar bills at people because I'm rich in every form of card advantage and mana.
I'm having a hard time making
Library is
cuts
a-
here.
No,
Have a
Sylvan
tempo
Library is a. Oh, sorry. Well, Sylvan Library is a commander card, but I don't know if it's really a draft card.
It's good.
It's good? Okay.
I
It
think
is
you will
good, yeah.
enjoy playing it.
Just maybe don't spend 4 life as often as you
Yeah.
do in Commander.
Yeah, you're
Ah,
not
yeah.
gonna pay 8 into it a whole bunch, but but it's
Unless you
still
have
good.
Death Shadow, then go for it.
Oh, I passed it. That would have been perfect. Oh, well.
It's
All
2
of my lands
mana,
are
pay
shock land.
16 life, and draw 4 extra cards.
I was doing the Death Shadow is such a funny card. I was doing the Death Shadow math. I was like, wait a minute, Toxic Deluge, no matter what you pay X, Death Shadow's stats are the same. Very interesting. Because it gains
neat.
however much stats you pay.
Is 5 humans enough for Winota?
Are they really good?
Yeah, are they Thraben
mm.
Inspectors or are they 4-mana creatures?
If they're
Or
like
3 mana.
Pia and Kieran Nalar and a bunch of 3-drops, then yeah, maybe. Because the thing is, like, you dig 6 deep, so if you get to, attack with a couple non-human things and dig 12 cards deep, you're gonna find one, which sometimes that's just worth it.
True, yeah.
Speaking of P and Kieran Nalar, my hot take from this draft is that there's not enough white and black creatures that are Thopters.
Not enough white and black creatures that are Thopters.
They're just
Have you played
I'm
with Pia
processing
and Kieran and Retrofitter Foundry
It's pretty fun.
at the same time?
Pretty fun.
Because Retrofitter Foundry does this thing where like you're supposed to go up the tiers, but Piankir and Nilar makes Thopters, and so it skips all the tiers and just makes instant 4/4s.
It's pretty chill. I'm gonna mute one more time. So we're talking through some
Pretty
cuts
sick.
here.
It's 15 lands too little.
Okay, so
Probably
Probably.
not.
right now
Oh,
I'm at 14
It depends. It
lands
depends on
plus
like if
once
you
upon a
have
time,
like
which is not
cantrips
enough.
or a very
I
low
need to play
curve,
more
which
lands.
both are common in this cube. Then
I
would
think
say
the
like
cuts.
probably fine.
I should cut exploration.
I'm
I'm not
gonna
going
cut
to. This is
14
me
even.
testing. This is a testing decision. Okay, I probably should cut it. I'm not going to do it. I want to try it with Augur of Autumn, Courser of
So
Crufix,
now that I have like the little auto land
and
thing.
Ren
how
and
do
6.
I,
Oh, I
like,
didn't wheel.
export my deck from
Somebody
Draftmaster?
took.
Export card
them
names, and you can paste that into a TXT file.
So I'm just going to actually cut.
Or
couple
I
of-
think you can. I don't know what the formatting on the
Jeez.
card names export is, but you can probably just drop it right into the Cockatrice deck builder.
Yeah, you can do that too.
You can also just what's it called? Upload from clipboard.
Okay.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
I'm going to cut board. It really,
Well.
really hurts me, but I want to be curving out otherwise.
It feels like I could put my whole pile into the deck,
That puts us
and
at
it would be just fine.
15 lands, which is actually
My
probably
my
enough.
only complaint about Cockatrice is just that it does pick.
Okay,
Gonna run
I'm
like
ready
this.
Worst
for
card
whoever
Gonna run
I'm
like
facing
this.
first.
Yeah, is there? Do we
Yeah,
have like
I'm-
All right, I'll
some
catch you
kind
in
of
the
bracket
games.
thing, or what's